When we think of war, we usually picture steel, blood, and roaring engines. But in 1944, on the battlefields of Europe, a truly strange American unit appeared. From a distance, they possessed massive firepower. Hundreds of Sherman tanks lined up, cannons standing tall, radio traffic buzzing, and soldiers busy around their trucks. When German reconnaissance planes flew over, the pilots were terrified and rushed back to report. It is bad. The main American force is assembling. But if the Germans had dared to fire a single shell, they would have discovered a jaw-dropping truth. Those imposing tanks didn't explode when hit. Instead, with a soft FFF sound, they simply deflated. Yes, you heard that right. The tanks in this unit were made of rubber. The cannons were inflatable. They weren't there to fight. They were there to act. This was the famous Ghost Army of World War II. The unit's official name was the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. Although they were officially soldiers, there were very few regular infantrymen among them. Most of the 1,100 men were recruited from art schools in New York and Philadelphia. Members included painters, architects, actors, set designers, illustrators, and even sound engineers. The famous fashion designer Bill Blass was one of them. Their superiors gave them only one mission: use your imagination to fool the Germans completely. To stage this war movie, these artists developed the famous trifecta of deception. Trick 1, inflatable tanks, visual deception. They designed extremely realistic rubber tanks, jeeps, and cannons. A real tank weighs 30 tons, but these fake ones weighed only about 100 pounds. A few soldiers could pick up a Sherman tank and run with it on their shoulders. Or if they accidentally poked a hole in it, they could patch it up in minutes. To make it look real, painters would create fake tire tracks alongside the tanks, and even use boards to simulate crushed grass. Trick 2, giant loudspeakers, sonic deception. Sound engineers recorded various sounds back in the US, the roar of tank treads, trucks crossing bridges, and the clamor of soldiers. Then, they set up massive speakers on the battlefield. It is said the sound could travel over 20 kilometers. Even with just a few vehicles, once they turned on the sound system, it sounded like an entire armored division was assembling. The Germans, listening miles away, were too scared to sleep. Trick 3, Oscar-worthy acting, intel deception. This was the most advanced tactic. These drama kings would wear the uniforms of other elite units and deliberately go to local French cafes to drink. At the table, they would intentionally let slip, "Hey, General Patton's armored division is going to attack the east soon." German spies lurking nearby would hear everything clearly and rush to send the fake intel back to Berlin. The Ghost Army's greatest performance was the Rhine River Campaign in 1945. At the time, the main Allied force was preparing to cross the Rhine in the north. To cover the main force, the Ghost Army set up a massive fake position a few kilometers to the south. They inflated hundreds of rubber tanks overnight, blasted sounds of bridge, building, and tank movements, and radio operators frantically sent fake combat orders. To make it convincing, they even created fake flashbangs to simulate the light of artillery fire. The Germans were completely fooled, thinking this was the main Allied push. They moved their heavy defenses south, bombarding a field full of rubber balloons. Meanwhile, in the north, the real Allied main force crossed the Rhine with almost no casualties, according to post-war statistics. Although these artists barely fired a gun, their scams saved the lives of at least 15,000 to 30,000 Allied soldiers. After the war, these men didn't become heroes. Because the mission was top secret, they were ordered to keep their mouths shut. These talented artists returned to New York and became designers, painters, and ad men. For decades, no one knew they had run across battlefields carrying inflatable tanks. Even their wives and children thought they had just been repairing trucks and logistics. It wasn't until 1996 that the files were officially declassified. Only then did the world know. In that brutal meat grinder of steel, there was a group of people who used paintbrushes and imagination to weave a gentle and great lie. In this story, the most touching moments might not be the grand tactical deceptions, but the sketches the artists left behind between battles. While other soldiers were cleaning their guns, they sat in the trenches drawing French landscapes, drawing their exhausted comrades, drawing wildflowers by the roadside. War usually destroys art, but they brought art into the war. Sometimes, fake isn't necessarily a bad word. When real meant death, those clumsy, funny rubber balloons were the loveliest guardian angels on the battlefield.